Good afternoon. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. Motion forward. Clarity. Giving, receiving. Remembering who you are. Tuning into who you are. Becoming all that you are, accomplishing that alignment, which is that leverage to the energy that is really you. Chilling to the point that you allow yourself to be influenced by the whole of who you are. Allowing yourself to be drawn in to that energy that is always pulsing, always reaching for you, and sometimes you let yourself go. You are influenced by that pure positive energy that is you. It's the most natural thing in the world for you to let yourself be you. But sometimes as you bang around with one another, worrying about things that are not worth worrying about, really doing step one, which does matter, but staying there much longer than you ever intended to do. Sometimes you don't allow yourself to be influenced as easily as others. In other words, sometimes rather than letting the source energy, who is you, influence you and tune you and thrill you and satisfy you, but mostly join with the vibration that as you is as you are, so that you are then this forceful isn't the right word, powerful is a better word, leveraged energy. That's when you allow yourself to come into your own, into your full power, that you are of your greatest value to those around you. That's then when your influence is at its greatest. And that's really the greatest benefit of a gathering like this, because this vessel and these lovely people who surround you will help you, if you will allow it just a little bit, to get into that receiving mode where you can do the most important receiving that you ever do, and that's the receiving of the whole of who you are, so that when you're in conversation with someone, it's just not you in this personality out here on this raw and sometimes ragged edge, but it's the whole of you focused with them, seeing them as they really are, knowing who they really are, feeling the fullness of who they are, and maybe influencing them into their alignment when they might not be there otherwise. It's such a nice thing to be under the influence of who you really are. As we're moving forward in the days that we have together, what you will notice is that a clarity will come upon you that is as a result of you allowing yourself to be influenced by the whole of who you are. And clarity is such a satisfying state of being, don't you think? Because in that clarity, it's not like you just remember facts and then you express them at appropriate times. It's not like you have a perfect memory where you remember everyone's name or you say the right thing at the right time. It's under the influence means you have recognition of all that you are, which means you also have recognition of all who others are. And when you come together under those conditions, it is an uplifting experience, so satisfying, more satisfying than anything else that you will ever find yourself doing while you're here in this body at this time. Every day will be a new day, and each day we will begin by asking you what you want to talk about, and every day what you want to talk about will be a different thing. Our favorite thing is when you come to the hot seat. It's invisible now, but it'll be about right there. When you come to the hot seat, our favorite thing is when you are all new and you've left your long list of questions that you've been gathering your whole life aside. And instead, you're new in this moment, responding to what we have just been talking about. And it's likely that as you are with us, up to speed with us, listening with the whole of who you are, and you will be, don't worry about it, that your own inner being will inspire you to the next leading edge question that will take us collectively into the next leading edge answer, because this is unlike anything that we've experienced before, co-creating at its best. You come with such magnificent balance of life experience, and you're all queued up with all kinds of things that are next for you. Your vibrational reality, or your vortex, if you've been listening to us for a while, is filled with things that you have created that you have not quite allowed yourself to receive. And so in these days that are before us, your receiving will get extra attention. You will find extra care about your receiving, which means more of those things that have been in your vortex that you have maybe sensed that are there, but they haven't come out to play with you in a way that you can see them and hear them and smell them and taste them and touch them. They'll be coming out, and you'll be experiencing more of these things that you've created in this full, physical, manifested way. We know that if you are like most humans, you've come mostly for manifestations, or so you think. And so if you're like most humans, dear hearts, you're sort of in a hurry to get from the seed that you know is planted all the way to the full-grown crop. You're ready for it to come out where you can experience it in its fullest. And we want that for you too. We want every manifestation that you can imagine to be your full-fledged experience, where you can devour it, where you can explore it, where you can expand it, and where others can see it, because it is a creation that you have accomplished. But most of all, in these hours that we are together this week, it is our desire that you discover the delicious satisfaction of knowing that your creation is underway, while you are observing its becoming right before your eyes, so that you don't feel impatient because it hasn't manifested fully, because you're not evaluating its existence or its becoming by what you or others can see. You're evaluating its existence and its evolution by what you feel. You'll find yourself more and more in what we are referring to as the receiving mode, where you will receive awareness and understanding from your inner being about your creations which are in progress. And the progress of your creations will become a factor that you are enjoying as much as the final event. And of course, there is no final event, because every creation continues to become and become and become. But once you get the hang of this, deliberately and consciously, in full awareness, because of your full connection, of you standing in that cognitive place where you are turning thoughts to things, where you are feeling the thoughts becoming more and more, where a vibration is a vibration and then you feel it become a thought. And when that thought drops into your experience, into your mind, and you recognize that you've just received a thought, that's a time for a celebration, because you are in the receiving mode. And then as you maintain that thought that you've received and you put it into words, you begin to verbalize about it to yourself and to others, and you begin to notice all of the cooperative components that are gathered around you, assisting you in the harmony of the becoming of your creation. That's co-creating at its best. We know you still want stuff. We know you do. We're not trying to talk you out of it. We just want you to have more fun on your way to the stuff. We want the vibrational version of it to be satisfying too, because there is one place and one place only that satisfaction comes from. And it's not just the manifestation. Esther said to Jerry on a pretty regular basis, just about every day, in fact, why don't you buy me that new car? It would make me happy for the afternoon. because she knew that the manifestations, while they are thrilling, are not sustaining. While being in this receiving mode, where there's one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, giving you that satisfaction, because satisfaction comes from one place and one place only. From an intention that you have established through the life experience that you have lived. And then you finding that sweet spot of allowing, so that you are queued up and ready to be ready for the next and the next and the next manifestation of it, as far as you are able to allow it. And that satisfaction is so sweet when whatever you are allowing right here and right now is enough. And it's got to be enough, because it's what you're allowing, so it's got to be enough. And when it's enough what you're receiving right now, when the unfolding of this creation is enough, when you sense it, you're on the right track. And when it's enough, when the thought drops into your mind and you receive it, that's such a wonderful state of satisfaction. And then when the words come, and then when the inspired action comes, even though you are still technically, if you really want to nitpick human beings that you are, you're technically still on the way to the manifestation that others will see. You're well underway in the development, in the satisfying development, in the hands in the clay development of creating your own reality. It's our favorite thing to witness in you. That satisfied understanding that all things are possible. That satisfied understanding that you can be or do or have anything that you choose. And that there is a cooperative universe backing you up and inspiring you to your path of least resistance. To the path of least resistance. Understanding that there's still resistance, but this is the path of least resistance. Not the path of no resistance, the path of least resistance, because you're human. There's always going to be a little resistance. So as you accept the imperfection of your perfection, and you accept the existence of a little resistance, we might be rapping, we're not sure. Then you are doing that thing that you said you would do when you decided to come here to begin with. You'll be living happily ever after. We are so pleased that you have come to play with us. And it is our expectation that this will be, so far, the best week you have lived. There is great love here for you. And for now, we are complete.